Hello traders, this is Mike Hamilton for Trade the Easy Way, and let's just look at the pound. This is the pound Aussie dollar. I took 50 pips out of this. It actually moved about 100 pips off this low. But you can see we've got divergence down here. The lower we get, the more divergence we get. So just looking to see if this can pick up. So if we start closing under here, then it's toast, and then we could be coming right the way down to 195, 190. In the meantime, if we start to close above this support level, I'm going to buy this and see if we can wind our way up. So it's like a coiled spring. It's getting more and more compressed, and whichever way it busts out of that, we should get a nice move out of it. The reason why I'm bullish is because if you look at the weekly, you can see at the moment we had a good week there on the first week in Feb, ran into resistance and congestion, and we dropped lower. So if we can just close above this support, as we go into the end of the week and into the next week, then I think we may get a nice little push. We could of course just capitulate and, like I said, start hitting some of these lower levels. The trend trade, I mean, once we broke this trend, then the highs were there to be sold. I'm just looking to see if this can base and then give us another move to the upside. Okay, so let's get that one out of the way. So sticking to the theme of the pound, this is the pound New Zealand on the daily chart, and you can see we are sitting right on this fib level. So this is the main fib zone, and we have come down to here a few times and we're holding and with a big divergence. So we're not coming down here with any force at the moment, and we have a slightly higher close. So it's not a reversal setup, it's just a holding bar. Again, if we start closing above 216, then I think again we could start to see a pop up to the upside. And again, sticking to the pound theme, here is the pound yen. Took a slice out of this to the upside as a hammer-like bar. So took it off just around yesterday's high, left it, and it just drifted lower the rest of the day into the US session and out the back of the US session. So yeah, again, divergence. So, but we could, the fact we're closing lower, in fact that's a new low close, so that is bearish. So my bullish attitude towards that was not appropriate, as it turned out. I didn't know that until the close. So I'm going to leave that to one side, but let's just focus on the pound US, because this has had a new low in this period with a close above next day. So that is actually a potential reversal signal. Okay, so I will look to see if I can pick up 143 tomorrow. We've got some UK data tomorrow. Let me just check what it is. Yeah, we've got retail sales tomorrow. So let's just see if that can start to push higher. We've got, it's very congested, so we're going to need a nice push. We're going to need to go into the weekend above 145. It's options expiry tomorrow, isn't it? Yeah, it's the third Friday in the month, so just be very careful. We could get sort of a bit choppy and slimy. But let's just see if we can close above 145 into the weekend. Okay, let's look at the euro. Euro came down to the 2 EMA, which is an obvious target, and bounced some, so it bounced off a lot of support. I'm just not touching it. I did take a slice out of the euro pound because that appears to be topping. Let's look at that now. This to me is topping out. So look at the big fibs on the big time frame, on the big range I should say. Yeah, so we've hit the 50% and peaked above it, and now we are closing underneath it with a lower close below the ATMA. So I think next stop is 76.50. So if you see any highs up here around about the 77.80 level, 78, as a potential short. Look at gold and oil. This is not good. This kind of push up in the gold suggests to me there's still quite a lot of fear in this market, and therefore we need to be very careful about the indices, because that's come up with some force. So at the moment this ATMA is just holding, and we've got a lot of resistance up here at 1250, but we are looking as if we could, just keep buying the pullbacks. If you're a gold trader, keep buying the pullbacks, because that is an impressive move today. Let's have a look at the smaller time frames. Wow. Right, so picked up on the Dow open and then just ran. Right, and the oil. It's the first time we've tested the 50 MA since early Feb. Tough. I mean, this could just roll over. OPEC countries are trying hard to see if they can get this to hold up, but the volumes are weak. The highs just sell. Why should that be any different now? The answer to me is that it may not be, and so if we test 33 and fail, we could come all the way back down to 29. Okay, indices. We just had a quiet pause day today, but that is a bit ominous, isn't it? Just sitting there on 50 MA, closing underneath that support, underneath that resistance, sorry. So we look as if we want to come back and test 16,200, at which point we need to ask ourselves, can that hold? The last time we had a close looking like that, we spent a week or two dropping. We had a bar like that here, and we ran the way down here, so that is ominous. That is very ominous. We had a decent push up here, good 900 plus pip move up here, so at the moment that looks as if that could definitely come and retest some of these support levels around about 16,200, possibly lower level. Alright, so I'll leave it there. I'll just look at a couple of bellwether stocks before I go. Let's look at Goldman's and FedEx. These are two good bellwethers. These are two good. So the Goldman's has come off. The process. So if we fill the gap and then hold back, then we could do okay. Facebook, holding that trend line, but only just. So I wouldn't touch that one at the moment. And let's look at what the other ones going to look at. Let's look at FedEx. Not happy. All right, so be very careful of this market. I'm interested in that pound US dollar, not touching the euro, and just looking at the pound Aussie dollar and the pound New Zealand just to track what that may or may not be doing. All right, I hope that helps, and I'll be in the Skype